Grand Rising. I hope everyone's doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you find this video. Today we are talking about vaginal infections, different kinds of vaginal infections, and some solutions to reversing those vaginal infections. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Dr. Nicole Brantley. I'm affectionately known as the womb therapist. I help women who have fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, and those who have trouble conceiving take the option of hysterectomy and other surgeries off of the table and truly get to the root of their healing. A lot of people like to cut out a lot of things, and their womb space being one of them, their uterus. And a lot of people do that as a result of fibroids and other things, right? Heavy bleeding, things of that nature. But I just want to let you know that a surgeon can cut out everything except for cause. We have to learn to do things from a holistic perspective. I saw a stat the other day, and I'm going to probably misquote it, but it was saying like 90% of these foods that we're consuming today weren't here, however many years ago. Neither was 90% of these diseases. So we have to understand that what we are consuming is in direct correlation as to why we have weakness and disease. So we're going to be talking about vaginal infections today. And I do want to let you guys know that when you're dealing with infections, when you're dealing with viral loads, when you're dealing with pathogens and things of that nature, it's because your body is acidic. Those things also weaken your tissue. Acids weaken the tissue, and viral loads love weak tissue. So when your immune system is weak, you make yourself more susceptible to viral loads and to infections, right? So we're going to talk about some infections that are very common for women to have. First and foremost, one being, well, before I get into that, don't forget we have our Monday, June 3rd, we have our next group detox program coming up. It's going to be raw food group detox. So we're going to be eating raw food the entire month. If you're like, oh my God, I've never even had raw until noon or raw until 4, that's too much for me, there are modifications. Don't wait till the last minute to get into the group, because there is a kit that is highly recommended that if you choose to order it, I want you to have it on time. All right. So that you could be following the protocol. So we're going to move into, the first one. First and foremost, vaginosis, right? Because a lot of people get vaginosis and vaginitis confused. I'm going to break those two down. So vaginosis is an infection of the vagina. And like I just said, when you're dealing with infection, it is immune system weakness. So you have to boost your immune system. Prior to coming live, I did a post on 15 antivirals, natural antivirals that you find out in nature. And that's just something that I do in my regular staple regimen, is that I rotate through certain antivirals. So one month I might be on astragalus, another month I might be on cat's claw, another month I might be on red clover. So I'm going to constantly rotate through things, because especially if you're bringing meat into your diet, you bring in those hormones, you bring in those steroids, that's acid, that breaks down to acid. So these are the things that can bring viral loads into the body. And like I said, viral loads love weak tissue. So when we're eating things that weaken our tissue, we make ourselves more susceptible to viral loads. So you should want to always keep an antiviral on deck, right? But rotate through them. Don't get your body used to just one. All right. So vaginosis is an infection of the vagina. All right. Vaginitis is inflammation of the vagina. So literally your labia can be swollen. So your body is responding or reacting to something when you have vaginitis, right? So anything ending in itis means inflammation of. Colitis, inflammation of the colon, right? For an example. So when you have diverticulitis, right? That's also within the colon, pockets of trash stored within the colon. So you want to make sure those things are moving. So vaginitis is an effect of poor kidney filtration. All right. And I'm going to talk about those things from an emotional perspective as well. So for example, vaginosis, which is an infection of the vagina, is also known as bacterial vaginosis, which is also a kidney problem. It's a result of poor kidney filtration. But bacterial vaginosis from the emotional perspective is anger at a mate, sexual guilt, and punishing the self, because guilt usually seeks punishment. All right. So let that resonate. If you're constantly having chronic bacterial infections, are you angry at your mate? Do you suffer or have sexual guilt of some sort? And are you punishing yourself for something that you did? Right? Learn to give yourself grace. Life is all about lessons learned. Learn the lesson, keep it moving. If you keep repeating the lesson, it means that you're not learning it. Right? All right. So we talked about vaginosis and what it is. We talked about vaginitis and what it is, the same as bacterial vaginosis. The third thing I want to talk about is yeast infections. So yeast infections are an adrenal gland weakness, denying your own needs, putting yourself on the back burner. That's the emotional perspective, right? You putting yourself on the back burner. You're making sure you take care of everybody else, and then you're giving yourself the leftovers. Stop doing that. Fill your own cup, right? Nobody wants you at your 50%. Nobody wants you at your 75%. People want you at 100%. So fill your own cup. For example, this morning, me filling my own cup, I got up way earlier than I needed to. I got in a 30-minute workout. I feel like something's on my eye. I got in a 30-minute workout. I replenished with my watermelon juice. I showered. I got dressed. I started my day. I walked my son to school. I walked my dog. But that's filling my cup, taking care of myself an hour and a half to an hour before even having to get up and take care of others. Okay? Always do that. Even if you have a spouse and you got to pack his lunch, do it the night before, or get up early enough to get you taken care of and then do for others, right? If that's something that you choose to do. So yeast infections are an adrenal gland weakness, and most Americans have compromised or weak adrenals. Why is that? Because they're drinking a lot of coffee. They're under a lot of stress, either because of the relationships they're in or the relationship dynamics with people within their family, or high stress jobs or things of that nature, right? I have an adrenals post. Go back and look at it. All the things that can weaken your adrenal glands, because when your adrenal glands are weak, you can have mood swings. You can have chronic fatigue. There's so many things that the adrenal glands are responsible for. When it relates to yeast infections, your adrenal glands are responsible for metabolizing your sugar. But when they're weak and they can't do that properly, you might see yourself having chronic yeast infections. So again, from the emotional perspective, yeast infections are denying your own needs and not supporting yourself. Let's stop doing that. Okay? Let's stop doing that. So next, I think that's pain in your vaginal area. Sometimes women experience pain in their vaginal area. That pain is acid. So what that means is lymph needs to move in that area. Okay? So we're going to talk about some solutions here. How do you address, or how do you correct vaginosis, vaginitis, bacterial vaginosis, or yeast infections? First and foremost, you have to detox your body. Detox, detox, detox. That's going to be at the top of the list. You got to clean up the internal terrain. You got to get the lymphatic system moving. That's going to help with kidney filtration, which is at the root of all of that. And then the adrenals are the brains of the kidney. So if they're not helping your kidneys to pump and filter the waste, when you have a kidney issue, you have an adrenal issue. When you have an adrenal weakness, you have a kidney weakness, right? One can't go without the other. They both go hand in hand. So you have to detox, right? Also do what I just mentioned. Make sure you're rotating antivirals all throughout the year. Keep those herbs within your body. You're also going to need to do a parasite and a fungal cleanse, right? Those should be staple. You should do one at least 2 to 3 times a year. We all have pathogens in our body. We all have parasites in our body. They help us to break down and digest our food. They are necessary, right? But we want to make sure we have the right kind of gut microbiome or parasites in our body that are helping us to break things down. So this is why we do a sweep. So what's supposed to stay and what's supposed to be there, when we start consuming the things that we're supposed to eat, you will have pathogens, bacterium that's going to be like, ooh, we want a salad. Ooh, we want some fresh fruit. Ooh, we're craving a smoothie. Ooh, we want our favorite, XYZ that's healthy. And that begins to change for you when you change the kind of microbiome that you have in your gut. We want to do a parasite and fungal cleanse to get rid of the eggs, as well as the parasites that are currently there that are like, ooh, we want ice cream. Ooh, we want fried chicken. Ooh, we want donuts, right? We want to get rid of the bacterium that wants the wrong thing. So let's get on a parasite cleanse and detox at the same time. When you get into one of my programs, I have a formula in there within the kit that you take that helps to clean up candida or fungus, as well as kill parasites in a very gentle manner, and the eggs, right? And then you do it for 10 days, you count 20 days, and then you do another round of 10 to kill off any eggs or to help with any die-off that didn't happen with that first round. So you have to do that. That is key when you have infections in your body. Okay, so you're going to up or you're going to increase the amount of raw food that you are consuming. That is key. You have to do that, right? Again, you got to change the microbiome within your body. That means you have to change what it is that you're eating. We have to eat for our species. We have to eat what humans are supposed to be consuming. And it's not a bunch of fried, processed, ultra processed, gray, dead food, dead, rotting, decomposing flesh, all of these animal proteins and products. It's not what we're created to eat. And that's why we are so sick. And that is why we are so obese. And infections are caused by a lack of lymph movement. It's actually caused because of lymph stagnation. It's like a swamp in there, right? Think of a swamp, murky waters, a dirty fish tank. That's where infection forms. That's how, things collect up and get nasty internally. So we have to clean up that internal terrain. So increase your raw food intake so that you can have fibrous foods, hydrating, juicy fruits that's going to help you flush and clean the colon, which is one of the most toxic areas in your body. We got to get rid of that old fecal matter. All right. So getting on an herbal protocol, right, for your foundational wellness, really getting to the root of cleaning up your body for 6 months. That is key, especially if you've been eating in very tragic ways, right? Eating things that you're not supposed to eat. And you know that the body keeps score. So what do you look like? Are you inflamed? Are you swollen? Do you have a large distended belly? Are you in pain? Does your hip hurt? Does your knee hurt? Your body is expressing to you what is actually going on if you truly listen to it, right? So we need to get on nourishing and herbal protocols to restore, to regenerate what's been damaged, and to achieve kidney filtration. That's really going to help us do that. Another way that we can overcome these vaginal infections is my womb healing tea and douche blend. Douching with that is going to wash down the walls and cleanse your vaginal cavity. I cannot express how important that is. This is something that I do monthly after each menstrual cycle, 3 nights consecutively at bedtime. I'm washing down those walls, right? Because the foods that we eat essentially leave things behind. We don't want mucus lurking in our vaginal cavity. We want to help to cleanse things. Yes, our vagina is self-cleansing, but sometimes it can use an aid. Okay. And my womb healing tea and douche blend does not contain things that are going to throw off your pH, nothing that's super acidic like a vinegar or all of these things that people go up there and douche with that knocks off their pH balance. Okay. Very soothing, and has astringent properties in there, but soothing at the same time. Okay. And then we also, if we're dealing with infection, we can douche with food grade hydrogen peroxide. We do have to, it's very concentrated when you purchase it. So you do have to dilute it. And then you can also use that to clear up any severe infections. Okay. So I hope this helps. I just wanted to talk about some vaginal infections that I know that plague women on a regular basis, and they don't understand the root is they have to drain the swamp. They have to get the kidneys filtering. They have to get the lymphatic system moving. They have to clean those parasites up that are doing crazy damage within their body, because every time you eat and poop, so does your parasites. They eat, they poop, they leave behind their byproduct and waste, right? And their die-off can smell really bad. So if you're dealing with really bad body odor, really bad breath, things of that nature, high levels of protein in your body, but you could also be dealing with parasite die-off. So you gotta cleanse on a regular. You got to cleanse on a regular. So if this is you, if you're like, oh my gosh, I have chronic bacterial infections. Oh my God, I have chronic yeast infections. Oh my God, I'm chronically fatigued. I have mood swings. I have anxiety, weak adrenals. I have insomnia, weak adrenals, right? All of these things you need to clean up internally. So I would encourage you to join us for the next group detox program. We are eating raw foods. We're going to have lots of fun. I'm so excited for all of the testimonials and beautiful things that will come as a result of us doing this together. You don't have to go at it alone. It can be very daunting of a task when you don't know what you're doing, when you're like, oh my God, I never did this before. I don't even have any support. Be in a room where there are other people doing the same exact things that you are doing, achieving their health goals, getting to better health, right? Taking care of your body so that your body can take care of you, because health does not happen by chance. It happens by choice. So I hope this video was helpful. If you're watching on Instagram, make sure you give it a like and make sure that you share it out with people that you know that can benefit from that, your auntie, your cousins, your mother, your, whomever. Make sure that you share it out. And if you're watching this from Instagram, make sure that if you haven't already, you subscribe, you like, leave me a comment. Let me know that you were here, what you got from this, and how you plan to move forward. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Have the most amazing rest of your day. Dr. Nicole, aka The Womb Therapist, is signing off. Peace and blessings. Bye for now.